We're glad that you're going to be able to join us tonight. You guys have a good day winding up for this, getting all excited?
Yeah. We had an interview on the radio this morning.
Yeah, that was pre-recorded.
About turtles. So.
That was awesome. And as we mentioned to you, we got our first copies of the book today.
Oh, that's so a special feeling. So exciting.
Yeah. It's really exciting.
It's perfect to be on with you and everyone who listens to the podcast on the first day that we actually see our book.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Really excited to have you here.
Mm-hmm.
How many books have you written, Si?
35.
35.
Wow.
I was expecting it to be more than a couple, but I didn't know it was 35.
Yeah,
I saw.
I'm old.
That is incredible.
Yeah. Well, otherwise we'd have to eat rocks out of the driveway, right? My husband, my husband's also an author, so it's very unusual to not have one of you have sense enough to marry like a doctor or a banker or something.
Shared passion is not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's true. I got a good one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Except you said that he doesn't share your passion for turtles, right? Well, for keeping turtles.
At that level. Level.
Understood.
How do you
Some,
not?
so.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, how do you not fall in love with them? He loved the little paints, and he was devastated when Monet died. And he took this one, Thurber, out for a walk because Thurber was freaking out because I was freaking out. And when he came back from his walk, Monet had come back to life. And you wouldn't have been more surprised had the Red Sea parted. He could not believe this turtle came back to life.
But me and Si have done 3 books together now. Well, we're working on a third, which is about turtles.
So the second one was just published, which will be coming out on the 19th, 8 days from now.
Yep.
But right, of Time and Turtles. But now you're saying there will be a third. There's not a third that's already published.
No, it'll be on 2 years, like 2 years probably, right? It's about fire chiefs. So anyone who's followed us on social media know who he is.
Yeah,
he's a big snapping turtle.
Yeah.
He's the star of Time and Turtles. I mean,
is.
He's such a charismatic guy.
Size and love with him.
I'm crazy in love with him. I have his picture on my desk.
You do.
Look at this. It's right next to my husband's picture.
Aww.
That's awesome. Love it.
Because we live, there it is. We live the same road, and so I have a pond we built for him. Hey, I'm getting mauled by a dog.
Sorry.
And so he lives out in that pond, and there's a fence around and everything. And I'll look out the window, and I'll see Si out there holding his hand. Yeah.
Well, my husband got really jealous because our friends at Turtle Rescue League, as a birthday present, sent me flowers. But instead of signing it with their names, they wrote this flowery and romantic little card from Fire Chief. And Howard was like, "Who's sending you flowers?" And then he starts reading the little card, and it's like, every day without you, it feels like a million years. I can't wait till you're in my arms again, or whatever. And then it said Fire Chief. So Howard's very close. Well, he is age appropriate, and opposite sex, and very standard issue.
I think it'd be very good for our book if you married him.
That's right. Everything else is pretty cisgender.
How long is his tail?
14 inches.
Wow.
Just his tail.
I mean,
11 oscoderms.
One of which is an inch high.
I love this. I really love this. 35 books. I feel like I'm just going to keep coming back to this. I've written 2 books, by the way. I'm working on a third and a fourth at the moment. Mm-hmm. I cannot imagine 35 books. It's incredible. Here's another author, Tony Monahan, just joined us too. Say that again, Si.
I don't do anything else. I just sit around the rest of the time. Tell us about your books.
No. Everyone here knows about my books. So my book, I wrote a book about black-breasted leaf turtles, Geomyda spangleri.
But I thought that everyone else on the podcast might need a review.
Yeah, they do. They need a refresher. And then I wrote a book about veterinary leadership as well. But the ones coming up are even better. The couple books coming up are even better. But before we get into this anymore, let's actually start this thing up. We're going to go into the roll-in right now. This conversation is going to be amazing. Let's do it.
Welcome to the Pondcast, the destination for insightful discussions and interviews on the appreciation, conservation, and husbandry of reptiles, with a focus on turtles and tortoises. Now, let's join our team of turtle nerds.
Hi, guys.
Hey,
Hi.
what a
And
roll.
we're back. And we're back. Sam says that intro was so cringe. Thank you, Sam. That's how we roll, man.
Oh,
Thanks.
incredible.
That's how
Oh,
we roll. That's how we roll. It needs to be updated, but other than that,
Yeah.
welcome to the
That's how you
Pondcast.
don't roll upside down. It's how you roll.
That's how we roll. Thank you. Cy is a hoot. I am loving this. Welcome to the Pondcast, episode 103. We're very excited to have with us our esteemed guests, Matt Patterson and Cy Montgomery, the illustrator and author of a couple of really awesome turtle books, including Of Time and Turtles, which will drop on September 19th. We're all very excited, and they got their author copies just today. They thought they weren't going to have them in time for this conversation, but they actually do have the hardcover right there. Look at that, with the dust jacket too.
Yeah.
That's a legitimate book right there too.
Yeah.
How many pages? How many pages are we talking?
Hardbound's my favorite. Love hardbound books.
I know. That's when you know it's real.
Mhm.
Count the index. It is 287, so you get your money's worth.
That is
Wow.
that is the real deal.
Yeah.
Awesome. Before we get into it, I also just want to say we've got Steve, Kevin here, Emily as well. So everyone knows the crew, but here with our guests, this is just wonderful. Real excited to have everybody here. So thanks for joining us.
Yeah, and before we get into it too quickly, right down at the bottom of the screen, you can already see like one little promo to buy their book. If you haven't gotten their book yet, head over to Toadstool or toadbooks.com. It's Toadstool Bookshops, which is like basically in their neighborhood. If you buy it there online, you can put something in the comments that you watch the podcast, and they'd be happy to like get you a signed copy when you buy that book. So if you haven't bought this book yet, this is how and where you want to buy it. So we're going to pop this up from time to time tonight. We'll run it across the ticker if we have to, just to keep it in your minds. But I asked like, where would you like them to buy it from? And that's what they said. So that's how you support Matt and Cy the best, is to buy it from their down the street bookshop.
Yeah, and you can also get the Book of Turtles. We'll do the same thing if you want to have that signed as well.
That's right. I mean, and you can buy this book anywhere, but for you all, we'd love to sign and personalize it for you. So send your name and tell us how you'd like to personalize it.
So I have a question for you. When you get your book in the mail for the first time, what's the first thing do you do? Do you open it and read it cover to cover? Do you sign your own copy? What's the first thing you do?
The first thing I did with this one was call Matt and say the box is here. And I did not open it until Matt came. And he was actually like an hour's drive away. It's pouring rain. I know. And the box is sitting there saying, open me, open
And then I got here and we ripped it open. And
It's so exciting because, you get the advanced reader's copy, which we have one of them right here. And it has the same cover, but totally different back. And what it doesn't have, it doesn't have the hard cover. And since, of course, we're fans of turtles, we're very
into the hard
big fans
canvas.
of hard covers. But it also has all of the color photographs and extra color artwork by Matt. And that's the first thing when we opened it. That was the first thing I wanted to see, how did the color art come out. And here's one of the paintings that Matt did specifically for this book. All of this art is original art just for this book. It wasn't stuff that he had like sitting around in the basement gathering. So, and there's all kinds of great color photos of our friends who we love, who have worked, to teach us all about turtles. And it was pretty exciting.
It was
today.
exciting, yeah.
And this is the most exciting part, talking to you now.
3 years ago. So it's exciting to see it all come together now and actually have it in our hands.
Yeah. You kind of can't believe it's real till then.
That must be so exciting. Yeah.
Are you guys waiting for me to talk?
I thought you were going to ask a
Yeah.
question.
Yeah, I thought you had a follow-up question.
I've got plenty of questions. I didn't want to hog all the airtime. I'd like to know, as a generalization, what is the target age group, the target audience for the book?
For
this
Time
one?
and Turtles?
Yeah.
Oh, it's you. it's the folks that are listening right now. It's
Even better.
adult, it's narrative nonfiction. The previous book that I'm probably best known for is The Soul of an Octopus, which
I
was
saw that. I saw that when I was researching.
So
Yeah.
That's how I know you, yeah.
for adults. But our earlier book is suitable for adults and children. It's an art book written in a way, a picture book written in a way that anyone can understand it, whether you're an adult or a kid. But you would want to be an adult, a young adult, to read of Time and Turtles, because big words and lots of pages.
I love it. It's so exciting. I was going to ask if you knew the word count. It seems like a pretty big book. That's really awesome. How many color illustrations are in the book?
There are 2 full-page color illustrations, and then there are 5. No, is it 5?
It's
Yeah,
5.
5 full-page pen and inks, and then there are each chapter is like a little illustration of a turtle that's important to that chapter.
And each turtle is a turtle that we personally met.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's really great to look at it and say,
We know all the
"Wow."
turtles in it.
Yeah, I know. It's
Well, in the book of turtles, a lot of those turtles are turtles that we met too. Like the cover turtle is the Burmese star at the Turtle Survival Center.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
You probably have met.
Have you? Yeah, maybe you have.
Yeah, I've been down there at least the one time. So yeah.
That's really cool.
And there's
Still, Matt, I don't know if you can see if I duck and spin my chair around, right? But there's some of your paintings back there too.
oh, cool! I can see little
great.
rectangles.
Oh, great.
I know those frames. I've seen those frames before. Matt, when you talked about pen and inks and then also the color photos, which ones do you think, like if you could only choose one, would you? I like that the book has the variety there in terms of the imagery that you're putting in, but if you, like, which one kind of do you enjoy more seeing in print?
Probably the color ones, but pen and ink are, I think it goes well with the story. What we did was the 5 pen and inks. We divided up seasons in the book.
I'll show some.
Yeah, show one.
Yeah.
Please do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because this goes on for, it covers several years. It took us 3 years to live this book. And our editor, Kate O'Sullivan, who we adore, said that it would help people keep track of time, since the book is also about time, much better if we had these kind of seasonal dividers.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh, I like that.
Like a recap of the book, and then I will find this.
All right.
Yeah. Tell them.
I'll tell
Put
them.
him on the
Oh my gosh. Well, we actually thought of doing this book before the pandemic began. We'd met at an art festival, and we lived in the same region.
Mm-hmm.
And Matt and I started doing turtle adventures. And I had some friends who were protecting a turtle nesting site, and we volunteered there protecting the. Oh, great! There it
Let me
is.
see it. I don't know. It's hard to see.
So that's
I
Yeah.
saw it.
So it came time. I turned 60 in 2018, and at that time I began thinking increasingly about what was my next book going to be, my next big book that I was going to devote years to. I've published a bunch of books since 2015 when the Octopus book came out, but this was a real act of devotion, as you know, when you're doing a book. And since the Octopus book kind of explored one of the 2 major mysteries in philosophy, which was consciousness. The subtitle was An Exploration of the Wonder of Consciousness. What I wanted to explore in this book was the other big mystery in consciousness, in philosophy, which is the mystery of time. What is it? Do we have it? Are we in it? Does it flow through us? And who better to explore this with than turtles?
Totally.
Who are so ancient and long-lived, exemplify the virtue of.
So
So
that reminds me of some research that just came out where they were using, where they've been using animals, particularly they were examining desert tortoises that would have been in the atomic testing sites in Utah, and to see and they can use their scutes and stuff to compare buildup of various different things, and just how like their bodies carry this history with them, which is really kind of cool to think about in combination with what you're just talking about.
Yeah, they are time machines. They are time machines in so many ways. You know, they come to us from they arose with the dinosaurs, and they have been through so much. They survived the asteroid impact 66 million years ago. They've survived all of these. Yeah. So, and they persist. They persist, and they remember. That's the other thing. I mean, one of the things that I love about some of the current science on turtles and some of the things that I got to learn hanging out with turtles and hanging out with Matt was they remember things for a very, very long time. Many people don't appreciate how smart turtles are, how emotional they can be, that they communicate. And as you know, recently 50 species of turtles were tested to see if they communicated vocally. Everyone thought turtles were silent except for a handful of those that we knew we could hear. But no, every one of those 50 species does communicate vocally. And who knows, maybe they all do in voices that we cannot hear. So, you know, they are mysteries wrapped in shells. They're little time machines.
Wrapped in shells.
And they're, you know, to me, they are now, many individual turtles are really dear friends who are part of my life, going to be part of my life forever and past my life too. Octopuses live like 3 years and they're done, and you only meet them after they're a couple of years old. That broke my heart, but this book won't break my heart because these turtles are going to be there after I'm gone.
Yeah, during this book, we worked with the Turtle Rescue League in Southbridge, Mass, and we worked with turtles who were hit by cars and, you know, injuries from lawnmowers and dogs and stuff. And so we volunteered with them. We worked with the turtle nesting program. So we protected nests of 5 species: spotted, blandings, wood turtles, painted turtles, and snapping turtles. And we did sea turtle rescue.
Yeah, and we
Cold
went
Stun on the Cape.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
A winter day, a huge snowstorm.
December day in
Let's go
New
look
England.
for reptiles. And we went down to the Cape, and it was this incredible storm. But it was exactly.
It was windy and dark.
It was beautiful.
And we found 5 Kemp's Ridley, and I had my ice fishing sled, and I pulled them 10 miles on the beach.
God,
it was exhausting.
You're in good shape, Matt. Oh my God. And we went down to Turtle Survival Alliance. Our 3rd chapter is devoted entirely to Turtle Survival Alliance. And then our TSA friends come back later in the book, and they were really important in the resurrection of Monet, my little baby turtle who drowned, who I brought back with CPR. So it was turtles all the way down for us for 3 years.
For 3 years. Well, it still is. So.
And it totally still is. But the wonderful thing, one of the miracles of this book was that when I pitched this book to my editor, there was no COVID-19 out there. And what's this book about? Well, it's about turtles and it's about time. Well, what happened during the COVID epidemic? Time stopped for everyone but us, because we were turned in to Turtle Time, and they connected us essentially to sacred time. We were not part of Chronos, clock and calendar time. We were part of Kairos, which is the Greek word for sacred, eternal, cyclical time. And at a time that, you know, time. I had just entered my 60s, I'm 65 now. I was thinking a lot about time. Time has always been my enemy. Well, it was a terrible moment in history for the whole world during that epidemic. and people felt stalled, and they felt they were languishing, and they felt everything was broken. But in living this book, we were able to take a hand in mending the world, shell by shattered shell. So the turtles gave us a terrific blessing.
I've never had the opportunity to author my own book as you and Anthony have, and I cannot imagine how excited you must be that it's kind of coming to fruition. But I can feel your excitement, and it's very infectious, and I'm very happy for you. Before we started this, I actually looked at your website, and I was looking at some of the research that you do before you release a book, and you're saying you dedicated 3 years working on research for this book. What were some of the turtle relationships that you were able to make in that time in the last 3 years? Are there any special ones that stand out to you that I'm sure you talk about in your book? But
yeah. Well, I'd say, obviously, Fire Chief. Fire Chief is a 42-pound common snapping turtle. He's called Fire Chief because he lived behind a fire station and a fire pond. And in 2018, he was hit by a car crossing the road. He used to travel to a different pond for the winter, and he a citizen, someone. Was it the fireman?
No, it was a Good Samaritan.
Samaritan, and they saw him. They called the Turtle Rescue League. The firemen saw him, and then these are firemen. They like run into buildings and but they see a snapping turtle and they were afraid to pick him up. So they called the Turtle Rescue League. These two skinny ladies came. One of them's blind. They launched the kayaks. They got him, and his back legs, his spine was damaged. His back legs didn't work. His tail didn't work, and they patched him up, and he healed. And we met him like 2 years later.
Yeah, 2020.
He was still in a hospital tank. He's a wild turtle, and we instantly were attracted to him.
Oh my God! Well, when I first saw this guy, he's huge. I know you've seen very large turtles, but for me,
he's a very impressive turtle.
He's a 42-pound snapper who may be as old as I am, and. So Natasha Nowick, who is one of the founders of the Turtle Rescue League with Alexi Bell, she thought she would just demonstrate feeding him a banana. So she drops in this unpeeled banana, and this huge head lurches out of the water, looking like a crocodile. And I've seen plenty of crocodiles lurch out of the water because I've worked in India and Africa and stuff like that. And I just thought, my God, this turtle.
I thought he was as big as your thigh.
I did. I thought his head was as big as my thigh. But I thought he was just magnificent. I mean, I was scared, but I thought he was magnificent. And I never, ever dreamed that I would eventually be so close to this turtle that I would be able to pet his head, that we could pick him up and carry him around, that we could feed him like a crocodile nugget this big out of our hands.
Yep.
And he inhibits his bite when he gets stuff from our hands.
Yeah, we scratched his face, but we worked with him, and we worked with him physical therapy. We had a little wheelchair for him in the winter so he could slide around and stuff. And his back legs now work. They're not perfect. He's not releasable, but he can walk around, and we built him a pond. And so this turtle in the book, our relationship with him is going to be forever.
It totally is. It's really, really great because, I mean, he's certainly going to.
And you can see on his shell, you can see it's like the history of that day. It looks like, so I said, it looks like tectonic plates all mashed together. But,
wow.
That they can survive. That was another thing, though, big takeaway. Turtles that we were able to release thanks to the administrations of Turtle Rescue League. There was one, Chutney. He was a snapper as well. He wasn't an enormous snapper, but he was hit. He had a brain concussion. His jaw was broken. His shell was smashed. He was a mess, and his head injury caused him to not know when he was right side up or upside down. And as you can imagine, this is not good. And because they flip themselves by using their heads and their tails, every time he would flip himself, which was all the time because he thought he belonged in that position, Alexi would have to reset his broken jaw. So they had to come up with something to keep this turtle on, right side up. So they couldn't lay down the shell because there was a horrible injury on the shell. They couldn't glue him to the bottom. So what they did, they're genius. They got a Tupperware pitcher that just fit him. And he just fit in there, and the pitcher's handle acted as a kickstand. So he could still see outside, and they knew that he'd realize it when the world stopped spinning. And he was with them a couple of years,
and then.
But then he was fine. His head
we released him. That
release, that was so
That was one of our first releases. Yeah.
Really, really terrific.
We met a spotted turtle who had been chewed by a dog, and his carapace, he was missing so much of it. We called him Mr. Pajamas. It looked like he was wearing pajamas. and his shell, his carapace, was healing back. It was slowly filling back in, and he was released as well.
Yeah, they've had so many great releases.
So we met a lot of turtles, a lot of amazing stories. It's amazing what they can survive. Like I said, if their organs aren't smeared on the road, there's a chance you can save them.
Yeah.
Well said.
Amazing. I'm going to interrupt there briefly. We've got a bunch of people joining us since the beginning of the show. If you haven't gotten a copy of Cy and Matt's newest book coming out next Tuesday of Time and Turtles, check out the link down below. If you buy it from that bookstore, they can even get you a signed copy of the book. Mention how you'd like it to be personalized to you. Mention in the notes there that you were watching the podcast tonight, and they'll get you a personalized copy when you buy it through that bookstore. So check that out. Super excited about tonight's show. We've got Cy Montgomery and Matt Patterson with us, and we're hearing all sorts of stories about these turtles they've met on their journey over these last several years, planning and preparing for this amazing new book. Lots of great art, lots of great writing, and I think we're even going to end up with a little bit of a sample of the book tonight, read by these two. So stick with us for the next chunk of time, and you won't want to miss tonight's show.
Yeah, so talking about the comments, I actually wanted to take a minute. A lot of people in the comments are talking about having some of your art prints, Matt. And I just wanted to ask really quickly, did you design the bandana that you're wearing?
Yes.
You did? Oh, okay.
I did. Because I always wear a bandana. I just like to. It's kind of my thing. And I wanted a turtle bandana. And every time I looked up turtle bandanas, it was Ninja Turtles. So I didn't want that. So I ended up just designing my own.
I like that. And obviously Anthony does too.
You got that right.
Yeah.
It's a good look.
It's a cool look.
Yeah,
You look
there we
cool.
go.
Yeah.
Steve's very excited about his shirt too. He's very proud. He wants everyone to see.
Oh, you're great.
It's a good shirt.
Oh, it is a really good shirt. I could have worn mine.
Yeah, you could have.
Yeah, but I wore it yesterday.
That's funny.
We can't smell through the camera. It's okay. You could have
Right,
it
it's
again.
not so
That's awesome. All right, so you've been able to experience all this time with these turtles. Is this just because of your affiliation with the Turtle Rescue League? I think also, Cy, you have some turtle exploits, and Matt, you keep some turtles yourself as well. Can you guys speak to that? We have a lot of turtle keeping people on that like to tune into the podcast, obviously.
Yeah, well, Cy's head starting. It's a program with the state, and she's head starting 3 Blandings turtles.
Yeah, this is my 3rd year head starting.
Yeah.
And
just hatched.
Oh my
a few
gosh.
days ago.
Oh, there's nothing cuter, is there? And we've been working with a volunteer group of really wonderful, dedicated people who protect the nests of 5 species of native turtles not that far from our house. We've been doing that for like 4 years.
And this year was a record year for wood turtles. I think there was 96 at hatch. So
yeah, we were just there with some of our friends from Turtle Rescue League on Saturday, and that day we released 75 snappers who had hatched that very day.
Mm-hmm.
And just today we got word that they
over
had
100.
like 124 turtles. It was pretty fabulous. And that they have been directly responsible for thousands and thousands and thousands of baby turtles being able to hatch out who otherwise would have been eaten by predators.
Yeah, and working at volunteering with the Turtle Rescue League, we met a lot of turtles. Worked with a lot of turtles.
Some even came home with you.
Some came home with me. When we started, I was saying earlier when we started this book, I had 3 turtles, and I have 14 now. So it's not a ton. It's not as many as a lot of people listening, but
That's how it starts.
well, I should tell about the box turtles. I think, Anthony, I think you've heard this, but Erin, my wife Erin, agreed we were going to get this some 3-toed box turtles. 2 is what we agreed on, and I had to bribe her with some new shoes and stuff, and we were going to get them this rescue, and we went there, and the lady was super nice. She was her nickname was the Godfather, so it's hard to say no to her. And Erin, she said, if you're going to take 2, why not take 3? And I was like, yeah, she's got a point.
Yeah.
Take 3, why not take 4? And I was like, this is a good lady. I like this.
That's right.
And then the next thing you know, we left with 6.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, immediately
So we got home. Immediately, I put them in an outdoor. I had a big outdoor enclosure for the box turtles, and one of them immediately started laying eggs, digging a nest. And then a day later, another one did. They weren't fertile. They didn't hatch, but
Erin called me up.
But
and
she
said,
didn't know that at the
I'm
time.
going to lose my mind. I can't believe this is happening. But our friend Faith Lombardi, and she's such a saint. She's another one of these angel people whose house was filled with turtles and rescued dogs. Mm-hmm. And she was trying to make room for more native turtles who could be rehabilitated and then released. And so 6 went home with
6 went home with me. So I have 14, including the chief.
And we got 2 from Turtle Rescue League. Is it only 2?
2. Yeah.
One, Lucy, was a birthday present for Matt. She was an elongated tortoise.
Yeah. She was on death's doorstep.
Oh my God. She had an egg stuck. She had metabolic bone disease. She had all kinds of problems.
She was not in good shape. She was found, and she's an elongated tortoise. She was found in Massachusetts in November in a box at an intersection with a red-footed tortoise. Someone had just dumped him. And so I got her, and great tortoise. I love her. She's, very, how they like E.T. looking, and she's got a little pink nose, and she's a really good looking turtle. And so she was so sick, and I kept taking her to the vet, and this is a free turtle, and the bills are adding up.
I think people will identify with this.
Yeah. It was,
Totally.
I mean, Erin obviously wasn't thrilled about this, and so she had 3 eggs in her, and she laid 2, and huge. I didn't realize how big their eggs are.
Oh my gosh!
I couldn't believe it.
Like their whole body
takes up their whole body. So she laid these 2 monster eggs, and then she still had a 3rd one in her, and she couldn't lay it, and she was really going downhill. And our reptile vet, who's near us, he had done all he could for her, and so we brought her to Angel Memorial in Boston. And so I had already spent like over $1,000 at this point.
Wow. Angel's no joke. You're not going into Angel and paying an $80 exam fee.
No. So I went in there. I brought her. I told them to call me, and email me all the invoice and all this stuff, and because I didn't want Erin knowing about all this.
But they had Erin's number.
But we had bought a dog, and so they had her number and her email and file, and so.
Oh my gosh.
I was on the. It cost over $1,000. And she had all these things wrong with her, and she needed all these shots and stuff. And I was on my way home, and I called Cy, and I was like, "Oh no, Cy, it was over $1,000, and we were trying to come up with a plan, what to tell Erin." And then Erin called me because they had emailed her the invoice. So she called me. She's like, "What have you done?" And so then we had to bring her back one more time. She laid the egg. She got healthy. She's great now. She's super healthy, really active, doing great. But it was like a $2,600 tortoise.
A $2,600 free tortoise. Yeah.
Free tortoise. Yeah. But we're still married, so it worked out.
She was worth it. I mean, here's somebody who's going to live for decades more and love her life and improve your and Erin's life and my life and all who know her. So God bless you for doing that. But I bet a lot of the folks listening have had this experience. And Angel was excellent. They really were terrific. I mean, our reptile vet is a terrific guy, but he also knew when we needed
He had
something
exhausted
more.
all options. Yeah.
And Dr. Charlie Innes, who is the head vet at New England Aquarium, who runs the Quincy Sea Turtle Rescue Hospital for sea turtles as well. He recommended the exact person that we should take her to, and he was great. And by the way, you went off to Hawaii and left me with your turtle.
I did, didn't I? Yeah. I said, don't let her die.
And I'm like, no problem. It's going to be fine. I'm like, oh no, God, don't let her die. Don't let her die. And I was thrilled to have a turtle in our house at that time because Howard is a saint and he's been really wonderful. He has let me adopt a pig who grew to 750 pounds and lived to 15 years until he died in his sleep. We've adopted 3 border collies. They are a real handful. We've had cats and birds and chickens and dogs and all kinds of things. But I travel a lot. And guess who takes care of them? So it said no turtles, no turtles, no turtles. But I did get to have Lucy for 10 days while you went on vacation. But she was so ill and I also had to give her shots. I had to give her eye drops and I had to give her soaks. So that's why she came to us here, because you can't just have anybody do that. And
what a thing to do, just drop her off to you like that, huh?
Well, no, that was good. I had an MD doctor help me give the shots. I actually gave the shots, but he held her. So many people actually have come to know various turtles to help us.
Our whole town now is into turtles because we're forcing it on them.
That's incredible.
Oh, with you guys around, right?
Right.
Oh yeah, we have an old home day, and it's like a celebration. We live in Hancock, New Hampshire, and it's a celebration of the town, right? How long has it been going on?
Oh, well,
long time.
Home Day is like 200 years old.
Yeah,
Governor Rollins began it in the state of New Hampshire.
Every year there's a parade, and so we made a big turtle float this year, and we had a turtle ambulance, and we had a tuba player because that's my cousin. It's a very turtle-y instrument, you know. And so yeah, we made a big turtle float, and had some kids pull it, and it was cool.
And won a prize.
That's awesome. Hey,
So we had.
Go ahead, Steve.
You got it.
All right, I was gonna say we got a message from one of our buddies in the chat, Steve Baker, asking if you guys had any local book signings planned. Now I know you have it right now. If they buy through Toad Books, you'll sign and ship it. But we didn't know. He wanted to find out if you're gonna be in person. They can go meet you.
Yeah. We have on both of our websites. We have a list of appearances. We have a lot of local ones, a lot of ones around New England, and then we're going to California, and Oregon, and Washington State, and then we have a couple gigs in Florida, right? Too. Yeah. As of right now.
And it's changing regularly. So
and we have some stuff, and hopefully in New York.
Yeah. So go check out simonmontgomery.com/appearances or you are
mpattersonart.com. And and you have to, for some reason my computer, I don't know, if you have to type in www. You can't just type in M. Patterson Art, or it goes somewhere else. I don't know why.
There's so many Matt Pattersons, but none are as good as you.
Anyway, I've never heard of that before.
Well, I don't know why it does that, but
we'll help you troubleshoot that, Matt.
Yeah. I just tested that. It works without any www.
It works on my phone, but it didn't work. It doesn't work on my computer. Someone else had said that. I don't know. Maybe it's me.
Well, we're going to be at some really cool places, including the New England Aquarium on the 20th at the IMAX Theater. Matt's art is going to be projected the size of a school bus, which is pretty awesome.
That's awesome.
And we've got events.
Our first night kicking off next Tuesday at the Harris Center. It's our local conservation organization.
Yeah, we're just going to be surrounded with friends who all are friends of Fire Chief.
We'll be in Cape Cod. We'll be in Maine. We'll be
Rhode
Island and New Hampshire, and we have a lot.
Yeah. So
check out our website.
We'll be adding to it as well.
Yeah.
So and we're looking forward to going to Florida because turtles.
Yeah.
So
turtles.
One of these days you'll have to get out with us and our wood turtles too.
Yeah. Pennsylvania, right? Or are you?
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah.
I know now at a site we don't go to anymore, but we were there a few times. There was definitely one female who was easily a decade older than Cy. So
No one could be older than me.
Why are you going to say it like that, Steve? Come on, man.
she pointed it out earlier, so I'm
I
using
know,
to
but-
drink the wood turtle age, right?
Not everyone was here earlier, and they're like, "Dang, Steve, that's messed up."
Yeah,
We were. We
yeah,
did,
you're following Anthony's lead.
we did a
Right?
radio interview this morning, and Cy, I loved it because she was saying how you wished you looked good like a turtle.
Yeah, honestly, don't you wish
Yeah.
you did? I mean, gosh. They
Well, I
look
think the
the
older
same.
I get, I'll probably start to look like a turtle.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that would be cool.
I don't know, man. I've got some ugly turtles here at my house. I don't know about you guys.
I don't.
I'm
You
just
get a
saying.
little wrinkly,
Right.
you get a little smooth on top, you know.
Slow down a little
You
bit.
start getting wrinkles all over.
Yeah, guys
Yeah.
get smooth on top, that's
Yeah.
for sure.
They sure do.
But what's so amazing? I mean, the herpetologist at American Museum of Natural History actually
Chris.
said that basically turtles should be able to live forever. I mean, they physiologically don't seem to show aging like we do at all, unless some horrible thing happens to them, like a car or a dog, or they get some weird disease. But you could take a person and have them live in a bubble, and they would still get old and wrinkly and look not so young.
Yeah.
But turtles, no. Turtles, I think, if anything, turtles get more beautiful because their shells become smoother.
They become polished with time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Polished with time. I like that.
And the babies, I think,
Well,
everyone
yeah.
loves baby turtles. They look like baby grandmas and grandpas. I think that's why we love them so
Well, they
much.
look like just a
It's
miniature
true.
version. It's just, yeah, you can't beat the cuteness of a turtle.
No, you
Yeah.
really can't, man. There's sorry, Thurber. Don't
Well, yeah.
say that to him. He does.
Is that your dog?
Yeah,
He's
he's
sleeping. Yeah,
yeah, he's right
Let
here.
sleeping dogs lie.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you can't beat the really big eyes of the baby turtles. I think that's why everybody likes them so much.
And the darling little egg tooth. One of our guys had a little egg tooth I was showing off to somebody, and
Yeah.
oh my gosh, you just think how they come out and they're so ready to live. I mean, they're so ready to embrace life. They're brave and they're strong and they know everything. I mean, listen, it's not true that they don't learn, because they do learn, and we know from experiments that at least wood turtles can learn a maze faster than a lab rat. And so they're smart and they do learn stuff, but the ancestors have equipped them with so much that instantly, bam, they know how to swim. You think, I mean, how long did it take you to learn how to swim? And you're pretty smart, right? And I mean, even eating, think how long it takes us to eat anything that isn't just breast milk.
Well, people come out just like a helpless sack of meat,
Yes,
And,
it's true.
and turtles come out ready.
They're competent. They're
Yeah.
like amazing. And they seem to know, like, okay, I know how to get out of my nest, which, I mean, getting out of your egg, golly. I mean, at least when mammals are born, your mom's muscles are like pushing you out of there. But they've got to get out of this like terrible trap or they'll die. And we've seen them. I'm sure you've all seen baby turtles hatch. It's the most amazing thing. It's just this little hole, and sometimes there's an eye looking out, or sometimes
little
there's
Jurassic
a hand.
World scene. Yeah.
Oh my God! And then
Yeah.
and they're like, "Okay, I'm ready. I'm gonna find my stream," and they just go marching off to
And then
where
they
they
have
need to be.
everything is after when they come out too. I mean, like insects, birds, mammals, chipmunks, eat them. That's
I know.
Yeah.
So strong and brave. And that was another great thing about researching and living this book for us, is that at a time when no one knew what this contagion was, nobody knew what was happening, no one knew if this would ever stop, no one knew if we were going to die because our neighbor sneezed in our face or the mail made us sick. But to see these animals who are so strong and brave and competent, make us feel stronger and braver and allowed us to strive to embrace the world with that kind of courage and optimism.
So
And they have
beautiful.
such strong personalities too, right from the get-go. They all have very individual personalities. I'm
They
sure
do,
you
yeah.
noticed that a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, well, and because they're all individuals and they have personalities, some become celebrities. So in our the Book of Turtles, we have a whole section of celebrity turtles.
Celebrities. Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
We have Myrtle from the New England Aquarium. Myrtle is a 90-year-old, 550-pound green sea turtle.
Yep.
We
Here's
have
celebrity turtle profiles.
Lonesome George.
Oh, that's fantastic.
This is great. So here's
Oh,
Lonesome
yeah.
George.
Lonesome George.
Here's Myrtle. Oh, let me
And
show you the It couple.
Yeah, the It couple.
Sorry, I'm looking at my fingers. Okay,
Poldy and
many
Bibi.
of you have heard of Poldy and Bibi. They were the It couple at the Reptile Zoo in Austria. And they were Galapagos tortoises. They lived happily together for 115 blissful marital years.
Blissful years.
Until one day, the female suddenly could not stand the sight of her husband and kissed him. And I think a lot of the ladies out there might identify. So
You can relate.
they tried everything at the zoo because this was their It couple, and they didn't want to see them, separated. They even tried sex therapy on them. They tried sex toys. They tried romantic dinners.
Yeah, a little decoy turtle. Nothing worked.
Nothing worked. They had to separate them.
They just didn't like each other, and they had to be separated probably forever now.
Or for at least another 115.
Yeah.
So time's been a big theme, of our conversation tonight because it's, a big part of your book. Is there one particular lesson we can learn from turtles, the way they kind of handle or relate to time that, we as humans might be able to connect with?
Well, I'll say one thing about turtles is, in a world where people are constantly on their iPhones and clicking things and looking at things and your attention is all over the place, when a turtle is focused on something, its attention is just riveted on it. It's just locked in. It's laser focused. Like the way a turtle stares at you or stares at a strawberry it's going to eat. Yeah.
And I think that's such a good point, Matt. I think it's a balm to us in this twitchy, inattentive time to see someone who is dwelling in the moment and really experiencing time in that way. I mean, we're kind of experiencing a little bit of everything, but in 1,000 different tiny pieces that don't make any sense. A turtle doesn't. And I think also time-wise, during that moment in history when everything was a mess and we all felt that we were languishing, turtles never lost their sense of purpose. They never lost their connection to cyclical, renewing time. They showed me that time is not an arrow. Time is not an hourglass that runs out. Time is like treasure that accumulates. Time is our connection to eternity. And that is something very renewing for me and was very renewing for me during the pandemic, particularly.
Now we have a comment here from Dawn, and she wants to know what you think is smarter. So you worked a lot with octopuses for one of your previous books. What do you think is smarter, an octopus or a turtle?
Boy, great question.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is not just comparing apples to oranges. It's comparing like apples to grandmothers. It's like, yeah, they're from total different sides of the vertebral divide, that all of animal life is divided into. Octopuses live fast and die young. Turtles live slowly and die old. Octopuses apprehend everything, see everything rapidly. There's a thing called Flicker fusion ratio, which measures how quickly you can see something. For instance, the old television. When you look at television, your dog would see a series of still images. We would see fluid motion. Octopuses, their eyes and brains sort of function like ours. They would see fluid motion. A turtle would just see a blur. So everything about these two creatures is so different that I think that they're equally smart, but different kinds of intelligences. We've heard about the different kind of intelligences that humans have. You know, there's emotional intelligence, and there's numbers intelligence, and there's like reasoning, and there's, you know, problem solving, and there's memory and prediction and stuff like that. I think that turtles and octopuses both have intelligences that we do not and cannot yet even perceive. So it's a really excellent question because it makes us think about thinking, metacognition, and it makes us appreciate what Henry Beston called, you know, the other nations that are animals, that they are living by voices that we cannot hear, and they are experiencing reality, a true reality, but not necessarily the reality that we see, which reminds us that we see just a small sliver of reality, and which to me connects me to a larger reality and a larger consciousness and a larger spirituality. So long answer, but not the kind of answer that, I mean, you ask a turtle, for example, to
Two
solve
different worlds, though, so
yeah.
they're smart for what
for different.
Yeah.
Now, you know, humans, we think if a chimpanzee sees a Rubik cube and solves it, or sees a puzzle and puts all the square pegs in all the square holes, we say that's great. You give that same test to an orangutan who shares 98%, not 99% of human DNA. Smart animals. They are primates just like us. They are apes just like us. An orangutan will look at those square holes and those square pegs and not see that there's a problem that the square peg is not in the square hole. They don't think you need to do that. They're thinking about where's the fruit going to ripen in the forest over there. So to them, they don't solve that problem because they're not having a problem with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a really good way to put that.
Like, square peg must put in square hole. But no, I mean, I think it's more highly evolved to be just fine with the square peg being over here and the square hole being over there, and it can just be that way.
Serves a purpose.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good way of putting it.
I'd like
questions people are writing to us. I'm trying to read them.
Isn't it great? I know, it's great. Tony Monahan is writing a book as well, and he mentioned that Myrtle is in his book as well.
Yeah. I can't wait.
So talk about a celebrity. It's going to be good. Yeah. I love that. I love all the like. It's such a great thing.
I'm excited to see our name in print, man.
That's true. Now, Sai, we had promised that we were going to do an excerpt from the book. Is there something that you think you'd like to? Are you ready for that?
We can start from the beginning if you'd like, and that both of us can read it, not in unison, but
you can start, and I'll read the Pizza Man part.
Okay.
Oh, this is exciting. Story time.
Chapter 1, page 1.
This doesn't come out for another 8 days. I want everyone to know. So this is an exclusive, right?
Yeah. You're the first, folks. You turtle people are the first. I can't think of anyone I'd rather be reading this to. Although, you know what? Others have heard it. I read it to Natasha and Alexia and several turtles.
And you read an excerpt at the TSA.
That's right. That's true. All right. This is chapter 1, page 1.
I feel less important, but that's okay. I'm still excited.
No, but it was turtles that heard it. And turtles in the room are hearing it too. Because turtles, although they don't have ears, they can hear, as you know. They can hear a human whisper. Amid all the other homes on the suburban street, white, beige, gray, pale blue, light yellow, this 2-story salt box stands out. It's a blazing neon green. Its flamboyance accentuated by an equally electrifying violet shed out back. The house bears a sign in front that reads, "Turtle Lover Parking Only." Violators better shut the shell up. Parked in the drive are a white smart car and a black Scion. Both are mounted with strobe lights, like the ambulances that they are. Emblazoned with the Turtle Rescue League logo and with stickers urging fellow motorists, stop for turtles in the road, help them get across. The cars serve as emergency vehicles for transporting injured turtles to the 1,000-square-foot turtle hospital that occupies the basement of the home. Observed by closed-circuit TV, one of several security measures taken because even sick or injured, turtles are so valuable on the black market that the patients here could be targets of abduction. My friend, the wildlife artist Matt Patterson, and I we mount the steps to the wooden deck and knock on the door. Alexia Bell, Turtle Rescue League's president, lets us in. Once inside, Matt and I carefully step over a knee-high wooden barricade to the living room. We are soon met with the reason for the barricade.
All right. Pizza Man, a 20-year-old, 12-pound, red-footed tortoise with a knobby black and yellow shell, is headed towards us like a slow-motion missile. High-stepping on columnar legs, his toenails tapping softly on the wooden floor, he holds his pale yellow bottom shell, or plastron, tall as he paces determinedly across the room. He stops 2 inches from Sai's feet. He pointedly jerks his wizened-looking head to the right, holds it still for a second, jerks his head back to the center, then jerks it to the left. He swings his neck back to the center and stares up into Sai's face. Such a spirited reaction from a turtle might come as a surprise. While most people like turtles, even many biologists for years dismissed the reptile's intellect as little more sophisticated than that of a pet rock. Because turtles are famously slow and spend considerable amounts of time stock still, it's easy to get the impression that they don't think, feel, know much, or do much of anything at all. But clearly, Pizza Man was giving Sai a signal. It feels like a welcome.
This turtle really loves attention, Alexia explains. I bend down to stroke his soft, outstretched neck and head, admiring the red patches on his cheeks and nose and around his soulful dark eyes. Pizza Man then marches on to meet Matt. If anything, Pizza Man's ardor now grows. Even though it's February in New England, Matt, as usual, is wearing, along with his signature turtle print headband, flip-flops. And Pizza Man makes a point of standing directly on the warm tops of Matt's feet as he performs his greeting. Pizza Man's enthusiastic response bodes well for us. Matt, a renowned natural history artist at 38, and I have driven 2 hours from our homes in New Hampshire here to Southbridge, Massachusetts, to ask a favor. Since the previous summer, when we started helping friends protect a nesting site for 5 species of New England turtles, we've been drawn deeper and deeper into the world of these beloved but little understood reptiles. Last year, we attended a turtle summit, and we came away as stunned as if we had visited Lourdes.
You want me to read this little?
Yes, that's where it goes.
This is at the Turtle Summit. Alexia had projected a slide of one of their patients, a female snapping turtle. The entire third of her shell was shattered. 3 of her legs were smashed. 1 eye was gone. She had been lying on the side of the asphalt road where she'd been hit, cooking in the sun for hours. But 2 years later, she was returned to the wild healed. Quote, "What looks like a fatal injury to some animals may be survivable to a turtle," end quote, Alexia had told the assembled crowd. Quote, "Basically, if the turtle's organs aren't smeared all over the road, you might well be able to save her. We never give up on a turtle," end quote. So today, we're back. We want to take part in this miracle. We've come asking if, once the busy spring season gets underway, we might be allowed to volunteer at the League's hospital and help broken creatures be made whole.
Thank you. That was beautiful.
I absolutely love that.
So it was a roller coaster ride for both of us, for everybody. I mean, every turtle that comes in is somebody, who desperately wants to live and deserves to live. And this really was a life and death struggle. And we met so many brave turtles, many of whom made it, many of whom are out there living the life right now, some of whom did not, but from whom Tasha and Alexia were able to learn a great deal, and who gave us the blessing of having known them even for a short time.
It's beautiful.
Absolutely.
Oh, I see someone asked about audiobook.
I was just going to ask the exact same thing. Yeah. Do you have an audiobook available?
I saw that there is one, but is it your voice, Si? Because that would be great.
I read it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Perfect. Yeah.
I'd love to read a book to you.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Really cool.
My favorite is when the author is reading their own book. I always feel like it adds some extra meaning to the audio.
I read Soul of an Octopus, and I that's how I got introduced to you, really, because I listen to audiobooks when I paint, and I listened to that one, and then I emailed you.
And I was away.
And you were away, and then I met you at the Broke Art Festival. But yeah.
Yeah, well, pretty much the minute I met this guy, I knew there's a kindred spirit. This is somebody I want in my life. And quickly, actually not that quickly, but over the course of this book, and because of the turtles, pretty much, he and Aaron used to live 35 minutes away. Now they're on the same street.
We're on the same street. We're on the same road.
Fire chief. So it has turned out so great.
Yep. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. You can tell that you two have known each other for a good amount of time because you have a really good chemistry together.
Yeah, like
Definitely.
He often says things like, get out of my head. I'll say something that he was just thinking. He's like, get out of my head. And I'm like, too late.
That's great. So what's next? Can I ask that? Is it too soon? I mean, we're only 8 days away from this book being released. Is there anything else you want to get us excited about, or is that too soon?
We're working on a book right now. Well, you already wrote it. It's a picture book, kid's book on Fire Chief. So the story of his life, starting from when he hatches out, or starting before that, actually, because his mother lays the eggs. And it's his whole life, and it leads up to when he gets hit and then rehabbed. And yeah,
we actually went to Fire Chief's old pond one day, and we were dreaming of the day he could be released, of course, while we were doing all this physical therapy. And we wanted to see, where he'd come from, and could he be released to this place? And we actually found the place he probably hatched. We saw the pond where he had spent all of his summers, and then we saw the pond across the street where he'd spent all of his winters. And we saw exactly the place where he had almost certainly been hit. We saw where Alexia and Natasha had put in their kayak and rescued him. And we also saw that the road that he was crossing twice a year, which had once been a little country road when he was a little hatchling, was now a state highway with cars whizzing by at 40 miles an hour. And we knew that even though his legs and tail were so much better, that he could not get across that road anymore. And that was kind of the turning point when we began to think, we got to move Matt and Aaron to Hancock, and we've got to dig a pond.
Yeah, that's well, you guys can relate to this. The first thing I did was dig a turtle pond, and Aaron, that wasn't her first choice.
No, it wasn't.
Something for me to do, but yeah, I had my friend. He said I could borrow his excavator, and he said it's really little. He wasn't kidding. It was like a grapefruit spoon. It was
Howard, my husband, came and he drove up. He saw this thing. I mean, it really was like this.
It was
big.
really little.
He took a
There's
picture.
a picture of it, and there's a picture of it in the
Yeah,
book.
there is a picture of it, and then he just backed out and went home laughing.
Yeah.
But he managed.
But
to
I
do
still
that
did
thing.
it. I drank a lot of beer, and I just sat there and dug away.
Always a good
So you
idea
do
when operating heavy machinery. Yeah.
Well, this one
Yeah,
wasn't
right,
heavy.
exactly.
Yeah.
It was very light
This was
machinery.
more like a toy. Yeah.
I need to see a picture of that because I can't pick. I used a small excavator for my pond, and now I just need to see. I'm picturing like the fake claw excavator, like in the children's playground.
Yeah, the playground. Yeah, just like
I'm picturing something that's
you
like
gotta-
Anthony is bigger than.
Yikes! That's really funny. That's great. Yeah, I love the priorities too. And you brought up several times too, like the relationship side, which is something I'm really passionate about. We have another podcast called Turtly Devoted where we kind of dive into that a little bit. And Matt, you've been a guest on that before, which we're really grateful for, just to talk about kind of the ins and outs of kind of keeping things, on the up and up on the home front when you have a significant other who's not as obsessed with, shelled creatures like we all are.
I do a lot of bribing with shoes and bags, which likes stuff like
I
that.
love it.
That's smart.
And sometimes we even write a little contract of something she'll get. If I get,
That was the iPad.
that was for a pigeon.
That was for Pigeon.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think
Yeah.
Howard has everything he wants, which is pretty much just solitude to write. So I haven't found a way to bribe
bribe
him
him.
yet. But we did
Food.
manage to get. Well, I feed him anyway.
Yeah, but don't anymore. Hold out.
Withhold food.
Then we, I was shocked when Howard told me that I could homeschool. Oh my gosh, that's very funny. Homeschool my turtles. Head Start. The baby turtles. And so the minute he said yes, man, I went shooting out to Keene, New Hampshire. I spent $200 on the tank and the heater and the platform and the food and all of the hazardous. And I come home and he's like, "What have you done? I thought they were just going to live in a bucket."
But you're in now. So you
I'm in
gotta,
now,
yeah.
right? But he
Yeah.
fell in love with them.
That's great.
It's hard not to fall in love with baby
Yeah.
turtles. Like, it really is. Sucks my wife in every single time, like there's just something about that little tiny thing that actually isn't so helpless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're just, they see water for the first time. You see the moment that they go into the water and they see food for the first time. You see them eating their food. It's just, you're in awe. And awe is that state that all the scientists and the psychologists and the wise men and women are all telling us awe is the thing that renews our soul, and there's nothing that evokes awe quite so much as a turtle. It's a living dinosaur.
Totally.
Turtle.
And baby turtles. Yeah. There's nothing better than a turtle
Yeah.
except turtles breeding. And there's nothing better than turtles breeding except turtle eggs. And there's nothing better than turtle eggs than hatching turtle eggs.
When you're
And I will stick by that for the rest of my life.
holding a turtle egg too, you were saying today, like you're holding this little thing that could be turned into an animal that could live 100 years or more. And
Yeah, it's a
Right?
holy moment. It's really a holy moment. And the turtle, the turtle egg itself, it's shaped like our planet. It's round. It holds within itself the cycle of the seasons and the wholeness of time and the beauty and mystery of the earth.
Absolutely. To me, I think they're more important than they're so much more important than humans. They're like a key to unlocking like the meaning of life on Earth. And it's I just feel sometimes like I'm the only person, and I know I'm not, and it's why I love this podcast so much. But I feel like I'm the only person that cares about it, and understands it. Where even working in the excuse me, in the veterinary field, I have people who are dedicated animal weirdos just like us, but they still don't get it. They still don't understand, well, why turtles, why specifically turtles? So it's so true. And being able to just speak with you guys about this tonight has been a really great treat. So I appreciate it so much.
Gosh, we appreciate it.
Yeah.
This has been a blast. I feel like, we're with our people right this minute. And I actually, I can see a lot of these names. And there's so many people who I know and love, and I know how much they love turtles. And it's fabulous that you've created this community, you guys. Thank you so much for inviting us to be on.
Oh, thank you guys so much for coming.
Yeah.
And now we have one really fun question here. I'm not sure if you saw it. It looks like someone wants to know, for the both of you, if you were a turtle, which species do you think you would be?
That question is from Mike Henry, who is one of the important people who's in the book and who is super volunteer at Turtle Rescue League. And man, I mean, I would be obviously a snapping turtle, because then I could have eggs with fire sheets.
She wants to marry the turtle. It's okay. We get it.
I love that.
You've heard of Man Crush Monday and Woman Crush Wednesday. Now we have Turtle Crush Tuesday.
Snapping turtle.
I'll allow it.
I would be maybe a radiated tortoise, because I'd be able to live in the spiny forest.
Oh.
And it wouldn't be uncomfortable for me.
Yeah, you wouldn't have to eat like rotting goat heads with maggots in it, like working there.
Yeah. I do.
No.
Oh my gosh.
People used to get sick.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a fun one. I want to hear it for you guys too. Anthony, Steve, Kevin. How about you guys?
Oh, man.
What
turtle species would I be? Oh,
I'd be a red-eared slider.
Snapping turtle.
Okay.
Red-eared slider. Okay.
Go ahead. Tell me your reason, then I'll tell you mine.
Me? Because actually it's the same as Sai. I have this huge love for our alligator snapping turtle, Ben. We call him Gentle Ben. He is very old and just this sweet, gentle soul. And I let all of our interns go in with him, and he'll walk over, he'll sniff you, and then he'll just walk away. And if you're causing too much of a ruckus, he'll just hide. And when I go to feed him, I'll drop some food in front of him, and he'll take it and he'll turn around and he'll eat it in private. It's just, it's so sweet. I love him so much. Yeah. Alligator snapping turtle.
I love you. You're wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, Emily's the best. I'd be a red-eared slider because then I get to travel the world.
Yeah.
Without a passport.
Yeah.
Anthony's an invasive species, ladies and gentlemen.
We are invasive species, I think of that all the time. Here we are in North America. We're this African species. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And how can we point to other animals and say, oh, you invasive species, out of here? It's kind of like
Totally.
Out of North America,
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah.
How about you guys? Kev, what are you going to be?
I would be the platystern and the big-headed turtle, because I really like fast-moving streams, and I got a big, heavy dome.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, you could climb trees.
Yeah.
I like climbing trees.
Yeah. I bounced through several things in my head, from a couple of my favorites that I keep, and then one of the reasons why lots of turtle people have considered leaving the north and moving south or whatever, but I love the Four Seasons of Pennsylvania, for instance, and so I was just thinking, I spend so much time every year with wood turtles out in the field, and they have stuff to do they enjoy all the seasons with different things they enjoy in each season, and they're smart and they're personable, and they can be a little goofy at times with some of their personal characteristics and everything. So I'd probably be a wood turtle.
That's a good answer.
I love wood turtles. I love how everyone really thought about their answers there.
I love I love it. I would want to be friends with you all in your turtle form.
I'm going to try to get a lunch together with you guys. I'm not that far away. I want to come and talk to you about writing one day.
You're not far at all. You're in Connecticut, so
yeah. And if you ever want to come visit and come see a bunch of turtles, please invite yourself to come to my compound here.
Yeah, I mean,
you got a whole new building too, right?
Yeah, greenhouse. Yeah.
We're coming.
Let's go.
Get ready. Hide
Yeah.
the silverware.
Let's do it.
We're on tour. So
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, like I said, you guys always have an open invitation to head down this way too. It's a bit farther, but wood turtles
Yeah.
and
I love wood
mad
turtles.
turtles.
Yeah. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
One of the color illustrations in the book is one of the two color is a wood turtle, and it's a wood turtle that is a male at the site where we protect nests, and he's
Okay.
notched, and I included his notch in the illustration because it's of him. And I see him often. I've seen him a couple times this summer.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Gorgeous. Yeah,
Yeah.
your work is just insane.
Thanks.
It's just exciting, the partnership between you two as well, because such quality work from both of you coming together. That's just,
Well, this has been
it's awesome.
a great experience and great journey, and I mean, this is our turtle journey over the last 3 years,
It's just been amazing.
Yeah.
It's just been so
and every time we
fabulous.
go somewhere on a book talk or a tour, we always meet animals.
Oh yeah.
We always find a zoo and they let us in and behind the scenes, and we got to
we
got to
Turtle
feed-
Conservancy.
see the Turtle Conservancy, which was incredible, and
Yeah, that
saw
was
plowshare
awesome.
tortoises.
Yeah, we
we-
saw Rhode Island snake necks who just
we
hatched,
just hatched.
and we were just down at
We were with the tree kangaroos and
That's right.
the
And
penguins, and
yeah, we got
Yeah.
to feed Channel Island foxes at
Yeah.
another zoo, and we were just recently at the Turtle Survival Alliance's annual meeting, which was awesome.
mhm.
That was really, really
That was
great.
great.
And there were
And-
turtles present there. There were even
There was
turtles
drink
in
beer,
the
save
room.
turtles. So there was turtles present, and yeah, Sai was a keynote speaker, so she gave a turtle talk. Yeah.
Wow, that was
That's wonderful.
I was so bummed I missed out on this year's, but I'm definitely going to get back
Well,
next
we'll
year.
see you next year. We're really interested to see where it might be, because they're
Yeah, I haven't. I don't think they've formally announced it yet, have they? But I know where it's going to be, but I got to keep that secret for a little
Oh, look
longer.
at you! Oh, hey, look at that guy.
no.
I'm Steve. I'm so cool. Matt, I know you'll be at TTPG, right? Is Sai, are you going as well, Arizona?
Well, I haven't actually been invited, but
I'm
I-
inviting you.
Yeah, I will be there.
I could probably fit in a luggage under the seat.
Oh,
Yeah.
Carry on, for sure.
yeah. In November, right? I gotta talk about that.
Yeah, yeah.
But,
That sounds really awesome.
yeah, I'm doing a turtle talk. So
Before we wrap up, I'm gonna give two quick other promos.
Do it.
So the Turtle Room is sponsoring a conference that's happening here in September in a couple weeks down in Southwest Florida at Southwestern Florida University. I think registration has now closed for that, though, but you can double check on it. They had a few spots left open. But anyway, we're really excited about that. It's the first conference we've sponsored, so we've sent a whole bunch of crap down there for swag and all sorts of fun stuff. So if there are still a couple seats open and you're interested, go check that out. And then finally, once again, as we mentioned at the beginning and partway through, make sure you get a copy of Sai and Matt's new book of Time and Turtles, and they said the best place to get it is at toadbooks.com. You can see it scrolling across the bottom. You can let them know how you want it personalized. Let them know you watched the Pondcast tonight, and they'll get you a personalized copy if you buy it from toadbooks.com. It's a bookstore basically, essentially down the street. Make sure you check that out. Their other book, The Book of Turtles, right? Real simple title. Your kids will love it too. You can also get that at the same place.
Awesome.
Well, thank the two of you.
Guys,
thank you
thank
so
you.
much for you guys for coming. Yeah.
of course, thank you.
Yeah, this was
This
great.
was great talking to all these turtle
It's a
nerds. So
fun
yeah.
night.
Just remember, guys, you got a bunch of turtle friends here who are, eagerly awaiting your future work and just cheering you on the whole time. Thank you so much for making our world that we care so much about a better place, and for bringing, some light to it and some joy to it. I can't thank you enough.
Right back at all.
Beautifully
of you.
said.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Everyone have a good night.
Yeah,
Appreciate
thank
y'all.
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Good night, everyone.
See you next month.
Not if I see you first.
Ooh.